2024 will be another year of growth and drama for Tesla, according to a guy who used to run Ford.
Two U.S. senators this morning asking for a Tesla recall following a Reuters investigation that alleged Tesla used a number of faulty parts it knew were defective. Tesla issuing a long response on X, rebuffing the claims. The stock has had a banner year in 2023, more than doubling. Can that hot streak continue as the headlines pile up and Elon Musk continues to be preoccupied with X? Former Ford CEO and interim Hertz CEO Mark Fields joins now with his outlook for Tesla in 2024. I just want to read you part of this statement from Tesla because they acknowledge the article, say they published an article that leads with wildly misleading headline, is riddled with incomplete and demonstrably incorrect information.
Oh, imagine that. The fake news, sharing fake news. This is obviously the very first instance in history of a legitimate mainstream media outlet having a misleading headline or an article full of demonstrable lies, distortions of the truth, and a dishonestly negative spin on any topic, individual or company, right? The very first time this has ever occurred. Let's head over to X and see what Tesla themselves had to say regarding this totally legitimate fake news that was just an accident, not a trend. When Tesla's X account clapped back, I couldn't help but trollingly post this on X. Tesla's official X account is going to put me out of a job. Rest in peace, my FUD fighting days. Obviously, I was trolling somewhat. So let's see what Tesla had to say, because they did not hold back. Reuters published an article that leads with a wildly misleading headline, aka a lie, and is riddled with incomplete and demonstrably incorrect information, aka more bullshit. Total accident, of course, but geez, first sentence there, they have come out swinging. The headline's bullshit and the article's bullshit. Fuck you, Reuters. Good job, Tesla. This latest piece vaguely and nonsensically suggests there are thousands upon thousands of disgruntled Tesla customers. It's nonsensical because it's non-factual. Tesla here pointing out that facts don't care about Reuters' feelings or lies. The reality is Tesla's customer retention is among the best and highest in the industry. Misleading headline, aka lie. Quote, Tesla blamed drivers for failures of parts it long knew were defective. The reality, buried in the article. Tesla paid for most of the 120,000 vehicle repairs under warranty. Manufactured story, aka another fucking lie, Reuters. How many ways has Tesla figured out with a few words to describe a lie so far in this very short retort? I mean, bro, misleading headline, manufactured story. The customer photo represents not a failed component, but instead a post-crash component that was damaged in the course of reducing the adverse effects of a collision. The customer was informed that Tesla was able to review the telemetry and understood there was a crash that resulted in this repair not being covered by warranty. Most, if not all, manufacturer warranties exclude damages caused by a crash because that is the point of insurance coverage. Oh fuck, bro, they're going hard. Helpful context. Look, we're going to get to the point here. This is a very long response. I don't want to put everyone to sleep. If you're interested, just check on X, you'll find it. Tesla pointing out the vehicles have advanced telemetry. They can see what's gone wrong and speed up the process of repairs, blah, 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 blah. False accusation. That's another way of saying lie. The author has conflated a noise-related non-safety issue with a range of unrelated and disconnected service actions. Contrary to the article's statements based on erroneous data, Tesla is truthful and transparent with our safety regulators around the globe, and any insinuation otherwise is plain wrong, aka another fucking lie. And then Tesla goes on to list their service principles, while absolutely murdering the fake news once again. This cherry-picking approach to journalism results in missing the truth, which is a pattern in many of the negative articles about Tesla. Using one customer's one-sided version of events as the universal experience of all customers paints a false and misleading picture, once again a lie, of Tesla. In reality, for every upset customer, there are hundreds more who are thrilled with their Tesla and eager to repeat their business. The numbers don't lie, unlike Reuters, in terms of repeat sales and customer satisfaction. We strive to make every customer a lifelong member of the Tesla family, and are you ready for this? While others may have their own agendas, oh boy, you can't say that, Tesla. It's true, but you can't say that out loud. Our principles have been the same since the beginning, to make the safest cars in the world, which are easiest to maintain, while accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. So I think the too long didn't read on this one is, hey Reuters, eat a dick, you lying fucks. And remember, the lies are going to continue to pile up, accelerate, and become even more ridiculous. Why? Elon bad, Tesla bad, and X even bad because bad X is going to bankrupt the fake news, aka the mainstream media. They know it, they don't like it, they're feeling threatened legitimately, and they're going to do everything they possibly can to tarnish Elon Musk, his reputation, and by proxy all of his companies. You name it. Whether it's SpaceX, the Starlink subsidiary, whether it's a boring company, Neuralink, Tesla, does not matter. They're going to come after the guy, and obviously X as well. The attacks will only intensify, especially with an upcoming US presidential election. So back to the member of the hate stream media, aka the fake finance news, who had some questions about Tesla's response to the fake news and the lies from Reuters.
And then they go through point by point what they see as wrong. For instance, blaming the drivers for failures, the reality Tesla paid for most of the 120,000 vehicle repairs under warranty, et cetera, et cetera. Does this seem like it presents a big risk for Tesla?
Well, Sarah, every car company has their issues on quality around vehicles. I think the interesting thing about this is they do note that they've repaired about 120,000 vehicles. That's a large percentage for the number of vehicles that they have in their, what they call the car park, all the vehicles that they have out there in the marketplace. That's the thing that sticks out. When you have that large of a percentage, usually where there's smoke, there's fire. And listen, as you know, Sarah, in the article, Tesla does not have a communications department. So, trying to kind of work with the writers to kind of clarify things before they come out with, that's not Tesla's MO. So
now, look, we just got to be honest here. None of these, quote, journalists give a fuck about the truth or getting things right. If they did, they wouldn't be publishing lies 24/7 and getting stuff so incredibly wrong by intentionally distorting the facts, painting a false narrative, by intentionally misleading. Oh, Stephen, you don't understand. If Tesla had a PR department, then the fake news would never say anything bad about Tesla. You're so silly, Stephen. As I've said before, maybe Orange Man Bad should get a PR department and suddenly the media would stop saying bad things about Orange Man Bad. Oh, yeah, it's a good point, Stephen. Huh. Anyway, moving on.
This is part of the ramifications of that.
I was wondering if this came from Elon Musk himself. I'm not sure who's running communications there. As far as the stock performance, I mean, Mark, there's a lot of optimism around delivery numbers, which we should get next year. What's your sense of demand? It was a year that we expected demand to fall off, and it did a little bit for EVs, but not so much for Teslas, especially with the price cuts.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Sarah. I mean, beginning of last year, Tesla got very aggressive with price cuts. It depressed their margins, but it did increase their volumes. And I think that's partly reflected in their stock performance this year. I also think when you see some of the established automakers like GM and Ford and others who have, recently announced that they're pulling back on some of their aggressive EV investments, that's also helped the stock. And I think as you look at 2024, I think it's going to be another year of growth and drama for the company.
Can confirm, he's right. I mean, this is one of the most obvious statements of all time, but absolutely. Drama, volatility, growth, controversy, further dominance. You can probably copy-paste that statement next year and the following year and the following year and continue to do that for at least another decade or two as well. By the way, where did all the people go who were really noisy roughly a year ago saying it was the end of the world, Tesla was going lower when it was nearly $100 per share, who were panic selling? Where'd they all go? They're very quiet now. I can't seem to... Where are they? Hello?
Probably less so on growth in 2024 because there's no new high volume products. And who knows on the drama? That'll be either more or less depending upon Elon and how he go about things.
And now a discussion about Tesla's competition in China.
We talked about Tesla's growing competition from some Chinese EV makers, a threat that Elon Musk is very aware of. Now, there's another competitor that kind of just stepped onto the scene. It is China's electronics company called Xiaomi. It has unveiled its first ever EV. It is called the Xiaomi SU7. Now, the CEO says the car can apparently top Porsche's electric Taycan or Tesla's Model S on acceleration or other metrics. We'll believe that when we see it. But anyway...
Yes. And before we get any further, I do just want to make sure that people understand. It's absolutely possible to produce an electric vehicle that will out-accelerate any Tesla on the market. However, doing so will require engineering using certain parts that don't make economic sense for a vehicle that you're intending on selling in any meaningful volume. For example, let's just pull a hypothetical example out of my ass. Let's just say that you had a company and your one goal was to say, hey, look, we're like Tesla, but even better. And of course, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get some bragging rights, have more range than the highest range Tesla, match or even exceed the acceleration of the fastest accelerating Tesla, match or exceed the aerodynamics, match or exceed the energy density of the battery. You could do this. You would just need to use extremely expensive lightweight components, blah, 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 over-engineer the vehicle, charge a fortune, and if you're lucky, you might sell a few thousand of these vehicles per year. You would get the bragging rights, but you probably would not have a sustainable business model. You guys all know what a Venn diagram is, right? The two overlapping circles. The Venn diagram for a Tesla vehicle. On one side, you've got affordable and able to be produced in high volumes. On the other circle, you have high performance. That overlapping area is a Tesla vehicle. Tesla isn't optimizing 100% for performance, nor for volume, at least not on their current vehicles, although the next gen, who knows? That may be all volume and very little performance focus at all. So it's important to understand, if a company does exceed Tesla on certain specs on a vehicle, cool story, bro, but can they produce these at high volume at a low cost? If the answer is no, it's just a sideshow.
In a post on X, the CEO says, quote, "We have prioritized intelligent tech, drawing inspiration from the advanced systems in cars like the Tesla Model S. Xiaomi SU7 offers advanced technologies and a supportive ecosystem to enhance your driving experience." Price of the Xiaomi 7 has not been finalized yet.
What a surprise.
But should Tesla investors be concerned? There's all this growing competition in a massively important market for them, China, and maybe right here in the U.S. Let's take it to your next guest. Joining us, Deepwater Asset Management Managing Partner Gene Munster and Wall Street Journal tech columnist and CNBC contributor Tim Higgins, also author of Power Play, Tesla, Elon Musk, and the Bet of the Century. All right, so Tim, you got BYD, Xiaomi, some others rolling out these EVs. They look nice. They got price tags. Some people have actually driven them around. But I think we got to be clear here. Scaling manufacturing to scale is hard, as Detroit is finding out. Are you a believer that China has already got this down and are a significant threat to Tesla in the near or short term?
Yeah, as you say, metal bashing is tough, right?
Yeah.
But I think if you just have to listen to Elon Musk and what he is talking about when he talks about the threat from China, and he sees that as a real issue here in the future. So yes, you're right. The first draft of some of these vehicles may not hit the mark, but there is a lot of motivation. There is a lot of aspiration to be a global player and a lot of effort to kind of eat Elon's lunch.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to be real here. These Chinese EV makers are not going to be eating Tesla's lunch. They're going to be eating Ford's lunch, General Motors' lunch, Volkswagen's lunch, Toyota's lunch. There's a very strange disconnect in the narrative we hear. We hear that the competition is coming for Tesla, and when people say that, they mean the likes of Ford and General Motors and Toyota and Volkswagen. And they also say that the Chinese EV makers are coming for Tesla, and they fail to connect the dots between the Chinese EV makers and the supposed competition that's coming for Tesla, for General Motors, Toyota, Volkswagen, etc. It's going to be brutal. As I've said, I'm going to keep saying, until I'm right or wrong, the future of the automotive industry, by units sold per year, number 1, Tesla. Number 2, through 10, Chinese EV makers, with maybe 1 or 2 miraculous exceptions. They will be miraculous.
I mean, the stock, Gene, has been one of the best performing stocks this year. And these China issues are not some big secret. Xiaomi, the car, kind of being unveiled literally in the last 24 hours. But we knew Chinese competition was coming, whether it's BYD or Xiaomi or Dongfeng or whoever it may be. This is, and yet the market keeps buying Tesla.
I think the market's looking 1 to 2 years down the road, and this is all about what the delivery numbers are. We're going to get them on January 2nd. It's about guessing what they're going to be for 2024 and thinking that anything that's going on in China is a light year away from an investor's mind, not Elon's mind, as Tim had mentioned, but from an investor's mind, it's a light year away. And so that's why Tesla has been working. That's why it will likely continue to work. I have one of my 2024 predictions is that Tesla will maintain their U.S. market share in 2024. Most people think that it will drop dramatically.
If Gene had made this prediction 6 or so months ago, this would have been fairly bold. But we've since heard from both GM and Ford that they're slowing down and or slashing their EV production goals and plans in the United States, meaning this is pretty much inevitable. Tesla barely needs to grow volumes at all in the United States to maintain its percentage market share. Now, this is embarrassing for Ford and GM, who should be moving faster, not slowing down. That said, the percentage share of market in this category or this country, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is how many electric vehicles did this company sell on planet Earth, and is that number increasing?
But I think that traditional automotive are just in a really bad place. And when you fast forward a decade from now,
they won't exist. Sorry, that was rude. I shouldn't interrupt Gene. Let's see what he's got to say.
I think you're going to see a repeat of what happened in the 70s and 80s. In the mid-70s, it was the Japanese car makers, and many Americans scoffed at that idea. by 1989, the Honda Accord was the best-selling car in America. And it's hard to imagine that Chinese automakers are going to find a receptive audience from U.S. car buyers. But the geopolitical environment can change, it can warm. And I think that Tesla should be concerned about these Chinese makers, should be concerned about what Apple's going to do, and should not be concerned about what traditional autos can do. And they're moving.
He just said that Tesla should be concerned about what Apple's going to do regarding electric vehicles. Still waiting for that Apple electric vehicle that's been rumored to have been in the works for, well over a decade now. And again, to Gene's comments around Tesla being concerned about Chinese EV makers. Bro. Should Apple be concerned about the Chinese smartphone manufacturers? Different markets, different tech, different buyers, different demographics. Again, it's legacy automotive manufacturers who should be shitting themselves, super concerned about Chinese EVs, not Tesla.
In full throttle reverse.
And Tim, I hate to bring politics into anything, but I think with this you have to in a way, because obviously President Biden, very close to the UAW, right?
That's an interesting way of saying completely bought off and paid by the UAW, completely corrupt, willing to do anything for the UAW, like lie to the American public, collude with a snake in CEO's clothing, also known as Mary B. Esparra, to steal Tesla's valor. Oh, and also, what laptop?
He was very supportive of the UAW. He came out for a couple of minutes during their strike. I was there and supported them. The UAW, I'm sure, views cheap Chinese-made EVs as some kind of existential threat to Detroit. I just wonder if there's a chance that Chinese EVs don't ever make it to the United States.
It's interesting. I've been following the auto industry for a long time now. And when I first got to Detroit, that was the fear that it was about to arrive. It was the Chinese were just a few years away from landing in the U.S. with their cars, and they were going to take over everything just like the Japanese. And we haven't quite seen it yet. But there is a scenario where, in some ways, the U.S. market maybe gets left behind from the advances that the Chinese market is going to see. If you look at the new cars that the Chinese companies are making, they are almost like smartphones on wheels. And that's why it's interesting when you see a smartphone maker get into the game. This is a market that wants that kind of technology on the roadway. So it's almost as if we're watching some of the future being built in China for cars.
Call me crazy. This flashed up on the screen just as this segment was ending. This vehicle they were claiming potentially would out-accelerated Tesla, the 0 to 60, over 5 seconds. It's kind of weird. Maybe they're using the base model specs. I don't know. I'm confused here. Regardless, Tesla has nothing to worry about in terms of the Chinese EV makers, but everyone else, if they have any sense at all, they're currently shitting bricks. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links at the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.